Have you ever traveled somewhere, maybe Mexico, Italy, Japan, or even just spent time with a family from a different cultural background and noticed something peculiar? The food is different, sure, but it's more than that. You might notice people seem to eat differently, feel differently after eating, or even talk about digestion in a way that feels foreign. And then you come home, back to the rhythms of American life, and your own gut seems to operate by its own set of rules. Bloating, heartburn, unpredictable energy crashes, or just a general feeling that your digestive system is finicky. It's not just in your head. The American digestive experience is different. It's a product of a perfect storm, a unique blend of our food landscape, our lifestyle, our medical system, and even our microbes. Today, we're diving deep into the pipeline of the American body to understand, why is our digestion so uniquely challenging? This is about connecting the dots between the food on our plates, the environment we live in, and the very real sensations in our gut. Welcome to the American gut. Why our digestion is unique. Let's start with the most obvious factor: what's on our plates. The standard American diet, aptly abbreviated as SAD, isn't just defined by fast food. It's characterized by a specific trilogy: ultra-processing, an overload of specific industrial ingredients, and a startling lack of diversity. First, processing. We're not talking about chopping vegetables or grinding meat. We're talking about foods that are broken down into their chemical components: starches, fats, sugars, protein isolates, and then reassembled with stabilizers, emulsifiers, and flavor enhancers. Foods like bread, yogurt, cereal, and even salad dressings are often engineered for shelf life, mouthfeel, and addictive flavor, not for how our guts recognize and process them. This matters because our digestive system evolved to handle whole foods. When we eat a heavily processed food, it's often pre-digested in a factory. The complex structures of fiber and nutrients are stripped away, meaning it moves through the initial stages of digestion too quickly. This can cause rapid spikes in blood sugar and, crucially, fail to feed the beneficial bacteria waiting further down the line in our colon. They starve, while we get empty calories. This brings us to the second pillar of the SAD trilogy: the ingredient overload, specifically in the forms of refined vegetable oils, high fructose corn syrup, and artificial additives. Let's take corn syrup. Since the 1970s, thanks to agricultural subsidies and tariffs on cane sugar, it became the incredibly cheap sweetener of choice, saturating our sodas, breads, sauces, and snacks. Here's the gut twist: fructose is primarily metabolized in the liver, not in the small intestine like glucose. When consumed in massive, chronic doses from multiple sources throughout the day, it can contribute to fatty liver disease and create a backlog in digestion. Furthermore, emulsifiers like polysorbate 80 and carboxymaltosol, common in ice creams and processed foods, are designed to keep oil and water mixed. Research suggests they may also thin the protective mucus layer in our intestines and disrupt the delicate gut barrier, potentially leading to a condition sometimes called leaky gut, where undigested particles and toxins seep into the bloodstream, triggering inflammation. This isn't about one bad meal. It's about the cumulative daily exposure to these non-food compounds that our ancient digestive tracts simply don't have a blueprint for. The third pillar is a profound lack of fiber diversity. The American diet is notoriously low in fiber, with most adults getting less than half of the recommended daily amount. But it's not just about quantity. It's about variety. In many traditional diets, fiber comes from dozens of different plants: weekly legumes, whole grains, roots, leafy greens, fruits, seeds, and fermented foods. Each type of fiber and plant compound feeds different families of our gut bacteria. In the American diet, our fiber, when we do get it, is often monolithic, coming mostly from wheat and a few common vegetables like potatoes and lettuce. This is like trying to run a thriving, diverse ecosystem by feeding every creature the same one type of nutrient paste. The result is a loss of microbial biodiversity in our guts. Studies, including the Large American Gut Project, have found that Americans who eat 30 or more different plant types per week have significantly more diverse gut microbiomes than those who eat 10 or fewer. This diversity is a key marker of gut resilience and overall health. Our lack of it makes our digestive system more vulnerable to disruption. Now, let's shift from what we eat to how we eat. The American relationship with food is often transactional and rushed. We eat alone more than any other nation, frequently in our cars or at our desks. We've medicalized mealtimes with labels like fuel or cheat meals, stripping away the cultural and social context that has traditionally guided eating. This psychological framework has a direct physiological impact on digestion. Digestion begins in the brain, the cephalic phase. The sight, smell, and anticipation of food trigger the release of stomach acid and digestive enzymes. When we eat while stressed, distracted by a screen, or rushing, we short-circuit this critical first step. We're literally telling our stomach to start its engine while our brain's foot is still on the brake. Furthermore, the chronic, low-grade stress that defines modern American life keeps our nervous system in a constant state of fight or flight. In this state, blood flow is directed away from the digestive organs and toward the muscles and brain. Digestion arrest and digest process slows to a crawl. Food sits longer in the stomach and intestines, leading to fermentation, gas, bloating, and discomfort. So, the American habit of eating a large, problematic meal under stress is a double assault on the gut. We're giving it the wrong materials and then crippling its ability to process them. This unique dietary and lifestyle context has shaped a uniquely American microbiome, the trillions of bacteria, viruses, and fungi that call our gut home. Think of your microbiome as an internal garden. The American gut garden is often like a neglected lawn with a few hardy weeds, rather than a thriving, diverse vegetable plot. The lack of fiber starves beneficial, fiber-fermenting bacteria. The constant barrage of emulsifiers and artificial sweeteners may selectively promote less beneficial or even pro-inflammatory species. The overuse of antibiotics, both prescribed and found in the meat supply from industrial farming, acts like a scorched earth policy on this garden, wiping out good and bad bacteria alike and allowing resistant or opportunistic ones to take over. This imbalance is now linked in research not just to obvious gut issues like IBS and IBD, but to a host of seemingly unrelated American epidemics: obesity, type 2 diabetes, autoimmune conditions, anxiety, and depression, via the gut-brain axis. Our unique gut flora may be a key player in our unique national health profile. Our approach to fixing digestive problems is also uniquely American, and it often makes things worse. We are a nation of symptom suppressors. Heartburn? Grab an over-the-counter proton pump inhibitor. Gas and bloating? Pop an anti-gas pill. Diarrhea? Take an anti-motility drug. While these can provide temporary relief, they often ignore the root cause and can create downstream issues. PPIs, for example, drastically reduce stomach acid. While this soothes acid reflux, stomach acid is a critical first line of defense, killing pathogens and signaling the rest of the digestive tract to activate. Long-term use is associated with altered nutrient absorption and, ironically, can lead to bacterial overgrowth in the small intestine, causing more bloating and distress. We treat the alarm while the poor diet, stress, and gut imbalance continues to burn. This reactive, pharmaceutical-heavy model stands in contrast to more traditional food as medicine approaches that seek to address underlying digestive function. Finally, we have to talk about the loss of traditional food preparation. Across cultures, traditional culinary practices were essentially pre-digestive technologies. Soaking, sprouting, fermenting, and slow-cooking grains, legumes, and vegetables weren't just for flavor. They broke down any nutrients that can irritate the gut lining and made nutrients more bioavailable. The slow, natural fermentation in sourdough bread or traditional sauerkraut creates probiotics and prebiotics. In America, the drive for convenience and speed has largely eliminated these time-intensive practices from daily life. We eat quick-rise bread. We buy sterile, vinegar-pickled pickles that contain no live probiotics. We choose instant, refined grains over slow-cooked whole ones. In doing so, we've removed the very processes that made traditional foods gentle and nourishing for the human gut, opting instead for foods that are harder to process and less supportive of our inner ecosystem. So, where does this leave us? Feeling doomed by our environment? Not at all. Understanding the why is the first step toward empowerment. The uniqueness of the American gut isn't a life sentence. It's a diagnosis of our environment, and environments can be changed, even on a personal level. The path to a happier gut isn't found in a miracle pill or a restrictive fad diet modeled after a far-off place. It's found in re-engineering your own personal microenvironment. Start by becoming a fiber archaeologist. Seek out diverse plants. Add a new bean, grain, nut, or berry to your cart each week. Learn how to eat. Sit down, take 5 deep breaths before your first bite, chew thoroughly, and put your fork down between bites. View processed foods not with guilt, but with understanding. They are engineered distractions for your digestive system. Use them sparingly. Explore one traditional preparation method, like making a simple fermented vegetable or soaking your oats overnight. The goal isn't to replicate the gut of a Japanese fisherman or a Mediterranean shepherd. The goal is to cultivate your own resilient, diverse, and well-fed gut garden that can thrive within the reality of American life. It's about making choices that send clear signals to your digestive tract. We are safe, we have time, and we are being nourished with real food. Your gut is not just a passive tube. It's a living, sensing, communicating organ deeply influenced by your choices. By shifting from a pattern of unique assault to one of unique care, you can change your digestive experience from the inside out. Thanks for watching. Here's to a happier, healthier American gut.